What if I told you you can predict how much resources will you need in your upcoming KVK so you can know how to farm and which resources should you focus on? Well, the answer lies in this window right here. And we're going to see how much does each troop type and tier cost so you can prepare for KVK. And we're going to use myself as an example. So in this past Kingsland, I used 3 D4 marches consisting of 1 D5 infantry, D4 cavalry, D4 archers. And we see the resources here break down, and just imagine they're in the billions. So this would be 2 billion food, 2 billion wood, 1.6 billion stone, and 240 million gold. As you can see, the ratio I will really need is I had to focus on food and wood the most, and then followed by stone, and then lastly gold. And the way you can do this is easier or harder depending how many farm accounts you have. So for example, I have 1, and I'm going to use that farm account to farm my gold, while I use the main to focus really on the food and wood, and then some of it in between some stone. Now if you have multiple farm accounts, you can focus more on the food and wood. You get the point. It's easy to adjust, and it's not fixed to just one lineup. Like for example, if you're using 5 marches, let's say you're using 2 cav, 2 archer, and 1 infantry, this is what you have to aim for. So 3 billion food, wood, and stone, and 380 million gold. And it's quite effective. And if you're going to use the T5 route, then I'm gonna have to say it's quite more expensive. So this will have to be something that you really know what you're doing. So for example, just the 1 of each troop type. So 3 marches total equal to like 5 marches of T4s, and especially way more gold to consider. So this is like 5 billion food wood and 4 billion stone and 4 billion gold. So drastically more expensive. And if you do like we've done with the 5 setup for T4, like you see it's astonishingly big, especially since we're still in KVK, and I have the special medicines technology which reduces the healing cost. So you probably have to shave up another like 10% of this. So you have to grind even more resources. And if you're wondering why you run out of resources that quickly using T5s, well, there's your answer, because the prices are very drastic. So since I'm using 3 marches, maybe 4, that's maybe 1 more infantry. So let's say I have 2 infantry, 1 cavalry, 1 archer. I need 3 billion food, 3 billion wood, 1.6 billion stone, and 300 million gold. And it's doable, but probably not going to be enough just for farming. I have to use my cards and stuff, but I'm okay with that. And in this Kingsland, I used around 8 billion resources, so I used quite a lot. So this is like 2, 4 billion, 5.6, 5.8. So I definitely used a lot more than what it says here, but of course, this is something you just have to consider, because the main point of this, if you're doing this correctly, the way you run out resources should be like linear. Like not one resource should be above the others, and you should lose resources adequately if you do this right. So the most important thing is finding the ratio of farming proportionately. So you have to focus on mostly two resources, and then use farm account or something else, or just using passively from your resources to work on the latter 2, which is for me in this example stone and gold. Now obviously don't neglect gold this much, because you will use gold in equipment. So to make equipment, to reforge, refine and awaken, upgrading them, it takes a lot of gold, way more gold than actually healing for the field if you're using T5s. So gotta take all of this into consideration. But I hope this made sense to you, and definitely made sense to me, and I'll definitely use this strategy going forward because as a farmer I suck. So this will be the first and last video on the channel about farming. So if you guys learned something new, consider subscribing, liking the video, and I will see you in the next one.